Hello, I'm Valeria Koval and I'm a student of Group BEM 719 V.E. It is my final presentation on the course Management II, and the character of my project is Skipper. First of all, let's get acquainted with Skipper. Maybe all of us know a band of 4 penguins from the cartoons Madagascar and their own cartoon, Penguins of Madagascar. This band always has work to do like operations against evil genius, so they consider themselves as a rescue team. It is one of my favorite movies from childhood till now, so I chose the leader of Penguins, Skipper, as manager in my work. And to prove you that Skipper is a good manager, I want to give several cast iron facts. First of all, Skipper has good organizational skills, authority, and deciding vote in Penguin's gang. He makes plans, develops strategies, and ways of their realization. He always has few variants of the realization of the operation. The second proof that he is a good manager is that he has a work team. The penguins that you can see on the left side of the slide, Koval, Rico, and Private, are his work team. Each of the penguin is professional in certain field. For example, Koval is the brain of the team, Rico is a soldier, Private is the soul, and Skipper is the driver of the penguins team. Skipper wisely divides the work among the penguins. He uses the method of division of labor, so each penguin gets a separate task in the field in which he is professional. And last proof that Skipper is a good manager is that Skipper always listens to the advices of the team members. Furthermore, he shares the victory with the team and he praises each of the penguins for a good work. On the next slide, I want to show you the operation for Skipper and penguins that named Escape from Zoo. With the help of using Gantt graph, you can see the separate tasks of this operation and certain deadlines to executing them. Now let's talk about the using of the functions of management by Skipper. First of all, let's talk about the planning. Skipper always maps out a course of action during the operation. He points out a sequence of tasks and divides them between penguins. Furthermore, Skipper plans resources that are needed for operation. He gathers and analyzes information about the place of operation, the number of enemies they are moving, and schedule in order to find out the right moment for attack. He specifies a final point of their task and a main reason to do it. For example, I choose the operation Escape from Zoo. During the planning stage of this operation, Skipper draw up a detailed plan with deadlines and steps. The main aim of this deal is achieve the penguins' homeland, so achieve Antarctica. Furthermore, Skipper's plans necessary resources such as maps of Zoo and New York, spoons for digging, money from the metro, and clothes for camouflage. And also, he specifies that the convenient moment for escaping is night, when Zoo is closed and people are sleeping. The next function of management is organizing. During this stage, Skipper puts the plan of operation in place, but in accordance with current circumstances. He determines the deadlines of fulfillment of tasks in order to save their sequence and perform the primary plan. In this stage, he decisively divides tasks and resources among the members of Penguin's team. So for example, during the organizing stage in the operation Escape from Zoo, Skipper divides penguins into 2 groups, where first group, Rico, Skipper, and Private, they just smile and wheel, and the other group, Rico and Koval, dig a tunnel. Also, the first group need to steal maps of Zoo and New York from people doing tricks. Furthermore, Skipper specifies that penguins need to come to seaport on certain day and get on the certain ship Nick form. Next function of management that we need to talk is motivating. Skipper uses verbal praise for successful operation to the team as a whole and highlight those who was the most brave. In this way, he raised the team spirit. So, for example, he always remind the main goal of operation. In the operation Escape from Zoo, the main goal is reach Antarctica, so get home. And in this way, he raised the team spirit, because achieving the goal is paramount for each of the penguin, and it plays role as a most valued motivator. Moreover, penguins have the symbol give last. They are common gesture of the successful operation that exists from the first days of their friendship, so from birth. And the last function of management that we consider is controlling. Skipper also always coordinates the actions of the penguins in order to execute a plan step by step. Skipper collects the information from the penguins and analyze in tune with the primary plan. He informed about the result of task and approve of the starting of the next task. So, for example, I can say that Skipper always asks about the conditions of operations with the phrase Kowalski report the situation. Also, he informed that the task is done and penguins can start the next one. He notifies penguins that about their role and track that everything is done. Now let's talk about the penguins band. Skipper manages the penguins band, and penguins band is an open system. Why it is so? The band of penguins, including Skipper, use the information for their operation from the external environment. For example, they need to obtain the knowledge about the place of the operation, number of enemies, their allocation, skills, and weak points. Based on this knowledge, Skipper adapts the plans and makes changes upon it. Also, as any real organization, penguins band has enemies, and we can compare the roles of enemies with competitors for real organization. Furthermore, another proof that Skipper manages the open system is that penguins take the resources for their deals from the outside, such resources as spoons, maps, money, food, clothes, and so on. From the outside for penguins means that they stole things from people or simply exchange with other animals. And the last proof that Skipper manages the penguins band as an open system is that penguins interact with other animals, and it means that they perform the activity in the external environment. They also need sometimes to cooperate with other animals in order to successfully finish the task. And now I want to show you the contingency approach, and to perform this approach, I would like to compare my hero Skipper with another famous character, Scooby-Doo, in order to see why Skipper cannot behave as a Scooby. First of all, let's remind the main characteristics of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo does not act deliberately. He never has a plan and always do anything that comes first into his head. Furthermore, he is not a character who makes plan. He is a person who executes orders. So he is not a leader of the team. He is just the soul of the team, I think. Furthermore, Scooby is a rabbit-hearted and he is afraid of responsibility. He likes to be safe a mile away until the very last. Now let's talk about my hero, Skipper. Skipper operations always based on primary analysis, comprehensive plan, and working out the actions of the team. Skipper, in compare with Scooby, is a leader. He has a vision and aim of task and deliver clearly the goal to the penguins. Furthermore, Skipper is a strategist who is ready for all consequences and deviations from plan. So if I suggest the real situation, for example, a rescue operation of the member of team, for example, for Skipper it will be private and for Scooby it will be Velma, I will be confident that Skipper firstly draws a plan and tells about the tasks to the Rico and Kowalski, and they start to act without any fears, because he can't be in safe and do nothing when his friend in danger, while Scooby in this situation will be hidden to the end until the critical circumstances. Also, these two characters, Scooby and Skipper, will use different bases for the actions. For example, Skipper will be on analysis of Kowalski, and Scooby will be on inconsiderate souls. Moreover, the diverse approaches will be used. Skipper will do strategic and model moves, but Scooby will do fortuitous moves. And all these factors influences on the result of operation that obviously shows that Skipper has more chances to win than Scooby. Now I want to present you the objectives with tasks for the penguins band, and in particular for Skipper. So the first objective named Get Home to Antarctica, and there are such tasks as, first of all, they need to dig a tunnel for the escape from zoo. Then they should get to Central Port, and finally they must get the ship to the Antarctica. The name of Objective 2 is Rescue Penguins from Evil Octopus. And there are such tasks as, first of all, they need to get weapons, then they need to integrate with the North Winds and agree upon the operation plan. After that, they must walk in through the security and lure octopus into a trap. And in the end of the operation, they need to return penguins back to zoos or home. And the last objective for penguins and Skipper is to help Santa to deliver the presents to children. And there are such tasks as, first of all, penguins with Skipper need to take the fairy dust from the reindeers. Then they need to put themselves to the Santa sleigh. After that, they must sort out the presents according to the cities. And finally, they will deliver Santa's helpers to the necessary addresses. Now I want to demonstrate to you the values of Skipper. And the first value of Skipper is friendship. His friends, Kowalski, Rico, and Private, not only the team for him, it is only family for each other. They care about themselves and about each other. They trust and rely on each other in any situation. They never throw one of the team in trouble, so they are responsible for one another. Next value of Skipper is freedom. And this value can be seen in the situation when they want to escape from zoo, because they do not like the regime of the cage when they need to dance someone's tune. They like the freedom and dislike to follow the rules. The next value of Skipper is adventure. I can say confidently that Skipper has the taste for adventure. He and his team, he and penguins, and never be on the go. They always come up with a new idea and never overpass a curious situation, because they always want to be a part of the solution. And the last Skipper's value is teamwork. As you can see that Skipper does not do anything great without the penguins. He preferred to divide tasks among the Kowalski, Rico, Private, and himself, because he considered each of the penguins as a vital part of the team, without which the success is unachievable. Now let's talk about the external environment, and in particular about the interrelatedness of the external environment. And if I think what external factors are influenced on Skipper, the first that come to my mind is technology and so-called competitors. But how they are interrelated and in what mean they impact on Skipper? First of all, I want to remind you that Skipper is a hero who likes adventures, and these adventures needs some plans, techniques, and devices. But you can guess that Skipper is supporter of so-called traditional methods of dealing with the tasks. But in their own cartoon, Penguins of Madagascar, they have an operation that needed new high-tech technologies like 3D visualization instruments, modern weapons, or high-speed transport. And this operation was so hard that they need to negotiate with their competitors, the band North Wind, that also carry out rescue operation. And penguins need to negotiate with them in order to obtain their smart devices and consequently win the battle. So it is clearly seen that changes in technological factor cause the change in the sphere of competition. Skipper need to obtain a new technological advances that lead to change in competition field. Also, I can say vice versa, that the level of technological development of penguins competitors caused the Skipper's need of new devices. And to continue the previous slide, I would like to say that the main factor of indirect external environment of penguins is technology. Penguin band and Skipper are considered themselves as the rescue team. In the cartoons, any of the operation cannot take place without devices. For some time, they used the primitive technology, listening garniture, binoculars, antennas, store radio sets, and even the abacus. But then they noticed that the technology develops and penguins can improve their so-called helpers in the operation. Firstly, they start to use the enhanced devices for communication. Then they try to get the philosophy of the computer, and that is most incredible, they start to use the backpacks, allowing them to fly. You can see these backpacks on the picture. And it is clearly seen that changes in technological factor influences the skipper in particular and his band the most, because they should to adapt to the existing trends in the technological spheres in order to support their effectiveness as a team. So it is all for now. I think that it will be interesting for you. Thanks for your attention. And I want to remind you that Skipper was with you.